What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing news. Now, this is some crazy news. I don't think some of you guys realize the scope and the magnitude of what is happening and unfolding right before our eyes. And as of yesterday, HBO has made the decision to sever ties with longtime promoter or promotional company Golden Boy Promotions. So, Oscar De La Hoya, Richard Schaefer. That's huge. That's huge news. I don't know. I haven't really seen many videos on it. It's new information, so maybe that's why. But I figured I'd talk about it and what this means. And I think this is a huge deal. One, HBO basically showcased and hosted a lot of great fighters' careers. They worked closely with Golden Boy, or excuse me, Oscar De La Hoya when he was a fighter. Floyd Mayweather spent his entire career on HBO, and to see what's unfolding right before our eyes, it's actually a shock. So it looks like they just decided they don't want to pick up any more Golden Boy fights, and they're passing on Adrien Broner, who is obviously a hot commodity in the sport. As you guys know, if you watched my last video, Adrien Broner was arrested in Miami. He's young. I guess it was some kind of club rumble. I don't really have all the information on it, but that's the latest. Adrien Broner, he definitely has a fan base. If you go to his Twitter, he has like 80,000 plus followers. And HBO has decided to pass on Adrien Broner. And I kind of mentioned this in a previous video. I don't know which video it was, but I said that with Mayweather going over to Showtime, Adrien Broner obviously cool with Broner. Adrien Broner cool with Mayweather, and he idolizes him or whatever you want to call it. I figured that Broner would be likely, and then I found out that Broner wasn't on a long-term fight contract. It was kind of like player by ear, fight by fight. So I did mention that I see Broner at some point in his career jumping over to the Showtime brand and the Showtime network. And it looks like that's what's going to happen since HBO said they're not picking up any more Golden Boy fights and or Broner. So Broner obviously has to find a new home. So it looks like Paulie Malignaggi and Broner will take place on the Showtime network. Again, this is huge news. I don't think some of you guys realize the magnitude of what Floyd Mayweather is and what his brand is for the sport of boxing. I mean, this is huge. I'm not saying he's the sole reason why the Golden Boy relationship was severed with HBO, but I can assure you he's a part of it. And Floyd's not even a Golden Boy fighter. However, he does work closely with Golden Boy to put on his fights, like Shane Mosley and Cotto. So he has a working relationship with them. Who he doesn't have a working relationship is Top Rank. And it looks like between, I guess, Top Rank, SMS Promotions, and maybe Lou DiBella, that's, I guess, where they're going to buy their fights from. I mean, those are the fights. So we'll probably see people like Sergio Martinez, possibly Gamboa, Billy Dib, fighters like Mikey Garcia, Nonito Donaire, Mike Alvarado, Brandon Rios, Pacquiao. I mean, these are the types of fights that we're going to see on HBO. If you watch my video that I did recently, I was doing a further look into the Top Rank roster. And as of right now, Top Rank, their stable is not that deep, in my opinion. There's not that many great matches. There's about, I would say, like one or two great matches per big name, and beyond that it gets kind of dry. Like Timothy Bradley, he just beat Ruslan Provodnikov. Now who can he fight with only top ranked fighters? He can fight Marquez, who doesn't, he's unsure of his career, he doesn't know if he's going to continue even fighting. Brandon Rios or Mike Alvarado, the winner of that, can move up and wait and fight him, or a Pacquiao rematch. But that's basically it. Then if you look at Golden Boy, they have a lot more people on their roster. Devin Alexander, Kell Brook. They also have a lot of fighters at 154 like Trout and Canelo. If any of these fighters wanted to move up, I believe Andre Berto is with Golden Boy. They have the most stacked division, which is 140. So if any of those fighters want to go up to welterweight, they can do that. That would be fighters like Lucas Matisse, Danny Garcia, Adrien Broner's flexible. Paulie Malignaggi. I mean, they have a lot more options, in my opinion. They work closely with Mayweather. They got Keith Thurman, who says he can fight 147 to 154. He's a rising prospect. They just have a lot more options, in my opinion. Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Um, just different options that they can mix and match. Marcos Maidana, Josecito Lopez. A lot of options that they can mix and match. Cotto. He's not Golden Boy, I don't believe, but he's willing to work with Golden Boy. I don't think he has a strong relationship at this point with Top Rank, who used to represent him, but I don't think he likes Bob Arum too much. So, again, Golden Boy, they're holding the torch, and it looks like Showtime. That is going to be the new network. Again, rising stars like Keith Thurman, rising stars like Canelo, rising stars like Adrien Broner look like they're going to be fighting on Showtime exclusively since HBO separated its ties with Golden Boy. I think it's a dumb move for HBO. They already lost Mayweather, and to not pick up someone like Broner, to have lost Canelo, who him fighting Trout in San Antonio, that looks like it's big business. I think in the first couple days or first week, they sold over 15,000 tickets in the Alamo Dome or wherever they're having the fight in Texas. I mean, that's huge. I mean, obviously, I never took it away from Canelo. He has a fan base. He definitely has a nation and country willing to support and pay for the flight, the travel time, or whatever to go see him. He has that type of fan base, and he's just up and coming. This is his toughest test, and he already has that level of success. So imagine if he beats Trout, where is it going to go? Anywhere from up. If Trout beats Canelo, what is that going to do for his career? I just see a lot more potential for the Golden Boy roster than I do Top Rank. Um, that's just my honest opinion. So it'll be interesting. Oscar De La Hoya, he did release a tweet basically saying good luck to HBO. I'll put it at the end of this video. Again, this is huge news, and a lot of people don't realize the magnitude and the level of influence a fighter like Floyd Mayweather has. And him moving to Showtime was a big deal, and it also helped. It was like a crack in the windshield. And then Mayweather moving over to Showtime helped shatter the windshield. I'm not saying he's the only reason, because there's been a lot of problems that have been developing in the last year. Just to give you guys a little backstory. Also, check out Carcino. Check out his page. He has a video talking about HBO and Top Rank. But anyway, there's a former Golden Boy associate who now works with Showtime in the sporting unit or department, whatever you want to call it. His name is Steven Espinoza, and that actually made HBO mad because they started promoting a bunch of Golden Boy promotions on the Showtime network. It's kind of like you have a friend working at a movie theater. He might get you in for free or might give you the employee discount. So that's how they viewed it, like kind of like a conflict of interest, because Golden Boy was pretty much getting all their shows on Showtime. And then another problem between HBO and Golden Boy stems from when Top Rank was beefing with Golden Boy, and they both wanted the Mexican Independence Day for their fighters. Golden Boy wanted a Canelo Josecito fight on that date. I think it was like September 15th last year, and the date was already reserved for Top Rank's fighters, Chavez and Sergio Martinez. Even though Sergio wasn't part of Top Rank, he worked with them for that fight, and neither one of them wanted to budge on the date, so they moved the Canelo Josecito to Showtime, kept the date that they wanted, and they went head to head, two big ass fights, big name fights on the same day in Las Vegas. So that was kind of crazy. So that worsened the relationship, the working relationship with HBO. Steven Espinoza situation did, and it looks like it just got worse and worse. Floyd Mayweather went over to Showtime, and HBO, I guess they're probably like, fuck it, we'll build our own fighters or whatever. I just think it's a stupid look for HBO. And I've always watched HBO boxing. I actually, in recent years, have come to like Showtime's commentary a lot better. I see them as being a lot less biased, but I still thought HBO was the network, the number one network. But it looks like we're going through an evolution right now, because I think Showtime, with the people that are working with Golden Boy and Al Heyman fighters, I just see a lot more exciting matchups that can be made using Golden Boy fighters than Top Rank. Again, before this news was released, I did a video talking about how Top Rank's roster looked pretty dismal. I really don't see what HBO is going to do at this point. Don King's only like marquee fighter was Tavoris Cloud, who just lost to a 48-year-old Bernard Hopkins. So Don King's not really relevant like he once was. Um, Top Rank again, a lot of their fighters are coming off of brutal KO losses. Manny Pacquiao, Randall Bailey. They also have names like Montiel. Nonito knocked him out a couple years ago. Um, it's just not looking good. And then they have a lot of people like Kelly Pavlik, who's retiring. Marquez is either retiring or he's probably going to retire soon in the next couple of years. So it's not like he's going to be fighting for the next 6 years. Um, Whereas you got someone like Adrien Broner, who's young. You got someone like Canelo. You got someone like Keith Thurman. These people will probably be fighting for the next 6 years unless something unforeseen happens, God forbid. So again, as far as young talent, young people who have already started to build on their brand, Canelos, Adrien Broners, the Danny Garcias, um, Keith Thurman. These people are still young, so I see them being around for the in the sport to some capacity. Top Rank really has Timothy Bradley, Pacquiao, Marquez, who's talking about getting out of the game. I just don't see it being a good look. And I could tell HBO was mad when they did the fight game with Jim Lampley. And basically, they were trying to say a bunch of slanderous stuff to Floyd, like, oh, will he fight the people we want to see him? Is he going to fight Sergio Martinez? Basically, doing that bias shit because they're mad that Floyd Mayweather hopped ships and went over to Showtime. But it'll be interesting. I'm curious, really curious to see how HBO is going to bounce back from this. I think this is a huge blow. But it's crazy because this is the decision they made. So I guess you made your bed, you got to lie in it. This is something they're going to have to deal with. But as far as Golden Boy, I see a lot more exciting matchups, a lot more young talent. Again, the Broners, the Thurman, the Canelos. And I think ultimately they're going to win the war. HBO possibly wins the battle just because Showtime, I think, was always the number two network for boxing. But like I said, I think we're going through an evolution where we're going to see Showtime slowly and slowly start taking over and taking over to the point where it becomes um, the number one stop for boxing just based on the talent that works with Showtime. Um, it's kind of like a Sam's Club. Let's say Sam's Club has been around longer than Costco. At first, more people probably had Costco memberships. Or, excuse me, more people had Sam's Club memberships because it was around first. It was the big box warehouse. At this point, it's either 50-50, or you might even have more people that like shopping at Costco as opposed to shopping at Sam's Club, even though Sam's Club might have been around longer. So again, I think we're going through a transition, an evolution period where we'll see HBO probably slide into that number two slot for the number one home for boxing. I just see too much talent that works with Showtime that fans are going to want to see. I mean, the biggest fights that Top Rank are making right now are rematch. They're rematches like Mike Alvarado versus Brandon Rios, or Marquez versus Pacquiao, or Bradley versus Pacquiao. I mean, they're all rematches, so eventually it's going to get old seeing the same fighter. I don't want to see Brandon Rios and Alvarado Part 3 or Pacquiao Marquez Part 6. I don't want to see all that. I want to see fresh matches and the matches that we've been begging for, like Rigondeaux and Nonito. It's been taking forever to get those fights, and then there's VADA testing, all kinds of complication, Rigo suing Top Rank, and all kinds of lawsuits and just litigation, all kinds of bullshit. So it looked like Canelo versus Trout was made fairly easy. Both fighters wanted the fight, and Canelo feels it's a time for him to step up and he's ready for the challenge or whatever. And the fight was made, and they've already done press conferences. They were at the San Antonio Spurs game. It looked a lot more simplistic. So that's my thoughts. I think Showtime, maybe not in the next year, maybe in the next 6 months, who knows. I think it will become the new face for boxing, especially since HBO is not going to have any Golden Boy fights. I mean, Lucas Matisse versus Peterson, man, I wouldn't miss that for the world. Like, I want to see that. That sounds like an amazing match. Um, and if it's on Showtime, then I'm going to watch it on Showtime. They also have people like Amir Khan. I forgot about Amir Khan. Huge fan base, UK fan base. He's starting to do things with Virgil Hunter, and we're going to see how he improves. So I just think Showtime's going to be the place where it's at. Let me know what you guys think. HBO or Showtime? What do you see being the dominant force, the dominant network in the future? Leave a comment, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, Ego signing off.